Matthew 6 verse 21, for where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
If you want to do it, it is possible. And it starts with one investment. He who thinks he can and he who thinks he can't are both right. So basically it's a mindset thing. There is not one of my beliefs is that I can do anything.
We have none other than Miss Bimbola Osage, property mogul, property entrepreneur. Welcome back to Let's Talk About It with this MG Blair vlog. So, like you all know, I already said I was going to bring in some guests for my podcast. And today, we have none other than Miss Bimbola Osage, property mogul, property entrepreneur. She's here to give us information. All you all that have been asking, how do I go about this thing? How do I go about going to property? I do not have enough money to go into properties. So we brought a guru here today to come and enlighten you all on everything that you need to know. Maybe some we might not be able to do all today. If she's free, we might be able to do another part 2 of this, where you guys can go on the comment section and ask questions. So she's here to tell us more about herself, how she got into property, who she is, and how you too can do this if you want to without breaking the bank. So here we have Bimbola Osage, as I know her, and as I usually would call her, Miss Bims.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome to our podcast. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about
it. Yeah.
Okay, what should we talk about?
So today we want you, first of all, tell us about you. Who is Bimbola Osage?
Well, Bimbola Osage, aka Bimbola Billionaire. I gotta get it right. Bimbola Billionaire. I'm a property entrepreneur. Basically, what that means is I live and breathe property and make my money from property. So, property entrepreneur basically means I'm a property investor. I'm a property trainer. I'm a property sourcer.
Yes.
I'm a property junkie.
Yes.
I don't buy bags and shoes. I buy houses. So I developed a passion for property so many years ago, and I've just literally lived my entire life now in property. So that's what I do full time. I'm a property investor. So I invest in property. But alongside me investing, I carry others along to invest. So I'm always advocating for people to buy their property, whether it's a home that you're going to live in or an investment. I train people on how to get started, whether you have money or you don't, it doesn't really matter, just get in. I help others find deals if they want to. I project manage as well, so I'm that girl that loves dirty, nasty looking properties. We buy it, we refurb it, bring life into it, and then it becomes somebody's home. So I project manage that in refurbishment as well. I'm very passionate about people just coming together to buy. I'm always bringing lots and lots of people, especially women, together to buy property in my joint venture. So seriously, you wake me up in the night, in the morning, I'm talking property all day. I never get tired of it. And honestly, I would say that property has saved my life as well. We'll talk about that later in the podcast. But yeah, that's my intro.
Oh, that's beautiful. So for those who don't know, a backup story. She was one of the people that trained me as well, that taught me about property. And I've seen her online, I've seen her in person. So I went to her, I said, okay, how do you go about doing this thing? Because usually when we talk about property, we talk about big finances, we talk about mortgages, we talk about people checking your history, we talk about you having enough money to buy a house. To buy a house is not cheap, we all know that. And most people are thinking, how can I afford to buy a house of my own, more or less to start up a portfolio and go into property itself? So that was where she came in and she put me through. She's one of our trainer, our mentor. We have a group where if you have any questions, she's there to answer all your questions. So she put you through that training. So right now today, I also am into all that. I'm into Airbnb. She put me through all that. So I'm into Airbnb. And also I do consultation for people who want to start up as well. In my church, we've got quite a few people who want to, but they don't know how. So basically, that's what I usually would do on my own free time, put people through. And then if they then want to learn more in terms of legislation, in terms of everything else in property training, that's where Bimbola comes in. And that's why we have dragged her here today. So we have dragged her here today. So if you guys have any questions, start putting it down there. She's one of the best. When I mean one of the best, she'll put you through step by step. And after she has done with the training, she will have you onto a group, a group where I am as well, where if you have any questions, any issues, anything at all, as you go along the way, she will put you through. And that's why she's here today, to come speak to you guys. So we don't have all day to speak about this, so there's definitely going to be a part 2. So for now, Bims, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for showcasing and for coming on this podcast today. We're really happy to have you. But then I'm sure they would want to know more about who you really are as a person. Yes, who you are as a person. Are you a mother? Are you single? How did you come into property? Things like that.
Okay, well, I am definitely, whilst I'm all about property, I'm a lot more apart from property as well. So what am I? Who's Bimbola Osaige? Well, let me start off by saying Bimbola Osaige is a woman of faith.
Yes.
And I have to start with woman of faith because literally everything, even the property, is an act of faith.
Yes.
So I'm a woman of faith. I'm a woman that believes in God, believes in a higher power, and everything I do is wrapped around my belief system. I'm a mom of 4 children, and you heard me right. 4.
4 kids. Look at
4
that.
kids.
Would you believe it? 4.
I have 4 children. I call them the Fantastic 4. My oldest is 15, and my youngest is 7.
Yeah.
So I've had 4 children. And I would have said, I'd love to say I'm married with 4 children. But unfortunately, life dealt me a big, massive blow 3 years ago. I lost my husband. And, so that makes me a widow with 4 children, or lone parent with 4 children. So that's it. That's a part of my life it's just been on a different wavelength. But, I'm thankful for where I am. What else do? I love, I love women groups. I love being, I'm the kind of person that I love groups of people. I'm in like 20 million groups. I'm on every group on WhatsApp, and I'm not a silent group member as well. I talk in my groups.
Yeah.
So I love, I'm someone that I love people. I think that I'm blessed as well with the ability to relate to people. I'm very patient when it comes to people. I'm very tolerant. I don't take offense. So I'm able to find myself and to own spaces with people, with women especially. So I have different groups of women, groups that are, friends, different groups. Which makes me very sociable, and it makes my social life very active.
Yes.
So I'm always out somewhere.
Yes, somewhere to go, people around you.
I'm always out somewhere. Like I don't live inside my house. I love it because every time someone says, "Oh, there's something happening. Do you want to go here? Do you want to do this concert? Do you want to go watch this movie? Do you want to go watch this show?" I'm like, count me in. Do you want to go on a girl trip? Count me in.
Yeah.
Do you want to go anywhere? Can you just count me in?
Yeah.
Go at some point, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so tired. So that's me. I love to hang out. I joke around a lot, as I'm not a serious person. Anyone that knows or spends enough time around me, I'm always cracking jokes. I'm always laughing. Laughing is one of my biggest assets and joy.
Yes.
I'm a very joyful person. So despite my challenges, I have so much joy that you would think that I don't have problems,
Mhm.
but I have my own problems. Yeah, so that's a gift actually. I realized that the joy of the Lord has become my strength
Yes.
over the years. And I love to laugh as well. So I always find myself in spaces where there's fun, there's happiness, there's joy. I love dancing. Oh my God.
Yes.
If you have been on my
Yes,
I
Lord.
love dancing so much. Like seriously, if I wasn't into property, I should really be a dancer. I love dancing, I love moving and shaking to the music. So I love dancing, which means I love to go to parties. And what people don't realize is, as a woman of faith, sometimes it's like almost like a conflict.
Yes,
To
you have to
party,
balance it.
but the truth of the matter is, I go to parties so I can just dance. Like literally, not even for the food. No, it's just to go and dance. Actually, and anywhere where there's music, count me in. So that's about me. I love traveling as well.
Exactly. I was gonna point
Yeah.
that.
I
Yes.
love to travel. I feel like God has brought us into this big earth that we need
Yes,
to
so-
go to different parts.
Yes,
so
so-
I haven't done a lot of places actually, as much as I would love to. But I love, and that's the mission. I love to travel. I love to see new cultures, new people. I love meeting new people as well.
Mhm.
So despite having so many friends, I am open to having more friends.
Yes, so-
I'm always open to meeting new people. And
Yes, so it's never enough.
it's never, for me, it's never
Yes.
enough. I can't understand people that have the same group of friends from primary school to date.
Yes.
I'm like, what is this?
It's personality, I think.
I love meeting
Each to
new people.
himself, and different people with different personalities. Some people are very introverted,
Yeah.
so they like to keep to themselves. And some people are very, some people don't even need to put in any effort whatsoever.
Yeah.
They walk into somewhere and they just blend.
Yeah,
Yes, and that's who she is. To be honest, I know her well enough to know that. Yes.
Yes, I love that. What else is about being Mother Sage? And then of course I love teaching. I love helping people. When I say helping people, especially in what I do, because I see, my heart breaks a lot of time actually when I see or find people that are struggling financially. And whilst almost everybody will at some point go through financial difficulties, it's not a nice place to be. So anything that I know that can help somebody else, I'm always like, of course, property for me is one of the things. So I don't like to see people struggling. I don't like to see people bullied by the devil. So I'm a prayerful person as well. I love to pray. I love my Christian gatherings as well. So I think that's a bit of me. Anything else that comes up, you see along the way. But
Yes,
I don't like talking as well.
She does like talking, she can talk for hours.
I like talking.
Yeah.
I like talking as well. I like sharing my opinion. I will be quiet if I don't have an opinion about something. If I don't know the subject matter, I'm not someone that talks when I don't know what I'm talking about. So I'll be quiet in a group. I don't know what they're talking about, and just be, But if I have a clue, so what is being shared, I would definitely say mine. I love relationships. I love couple relationships, which is a shame because when my husband died, I was like, God, what is this? I thought, my other ministry is actually couples relationship. I love to see marriages thrive. I love to see people together. And before my husband passed, I just could never understand why two people that chose each other cannot keep it together. But not life happens. So I'm really into relationships and
As well.
Yeah.
Do you do like counseling, things like that, or?
So not so much counseling, but I'm the couple. I'm the one who in every group I'm in this couple, always the one organizing couple stuff, always saying let's do this, couples this, couples that, couples this, couples that. Yeah, and I'm a man rapper, so I love I love my man and I love to rap myself around. So yeah, I'm into relationships a lot.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I know that because I've seen over the years when her husband was still here with us. I saw that journey. I admire the two of them. Very young couple, doing well. Kids happy. When I heard what happened, it broke my heart, to be honest. And even on YouTube, I've seen that she's got some videos on YouTube with the kids. She said she loved dancing. You will see a clip will be on the screen. You will see some of those clips on the screen as well. So Sis Beams, like she already said, she's a woman of faith as well. Okay, so now would want to know, your journey. What made you go into property? Was it some kind of situation? Was it some kind of experience? Was it that some circumstances made you fall into property, or it's just something that you love doing? Or how did you fall in love
In
in property? Yeah.
Okay, so that's a really good question. As I said, my name is Bimbola Billionaire. So, and my name actually means born into wealth. And for some reason, I've always wanted to be rich. Like, I've always wanted to be wealthy, not just rich. I've always desired wealth. I don't like not having. So I think without even me realizing, that was something that was driving me. I was never going to be a poor person. I always wanted to be wealthy. So, which basically means that how do rich people and what do rich people invest in? How do rich people make their money?
Yeah.
When you look around, when you look at the richest people on earth, either they got rich through real estate or they got rich through other means, but they invest their money in real estate. Then you will find real estate somewhere. You find property somewhere. So a few years back, many years back, I stumbled across a seminar, like one of those free seminars talking about property.
Yeah.
And we're talking about property as a means of building wealth. So of course, that caught my attention because I want to be wealthy.
Yeah, of course.
You know?
You don't want to become millionaire.
So that caught my attention, just property as a vehicle. And I think another thing what then happened was when I heard about what the people were doing, I mean, initially I wasn't like, okay, is that really true? Is it possible? I was a bit skeptical. And they obviously, as usual, they want you to come and do some training. It was a lot of money. And I think initially I kind of pulled back because I was like, I don't have the money for the training.
Okay.
What they said lingered in my head. And then one of the books that they recommended on this free seminar was Rich Dad Poor Dad. So I read the book and I'm like, this thing makes sense. Rich Dad Poor Dad, the book made a lot of sense. So I knew that one way that I needed to get into property.
Okay.
And of course, eventually, I also realized that being in the UK, if you're not careful, this country would take from you, and you have nothing to show for it. So you have to fight against that.
Yes.
So I already knew that I was working, living from paycheck to the next paycheck. I just got married, and we needed to be wealthy. So we looked into property. Eventually, I went for the training. I paid £20,000.
Wow.
For my training course, which I don't regret. I must say, I made that money back the longest time.
Okay.
So I paid for training, and that was how I started. So it started with just, okay, let's build wealth. I started to understand how wealth is built. I started to understand how money works, how you invest your money, and so on and so on. So every little money I had, then we'll just go and buy a property. But then all the things that we were being taught, I started to see it in reality, because then you had one property. At some point, we were able to extract money from this one property. We got two properties. So now, not only was I doing my 9 to 5, I had income from property.
Yes.
Even though it wasn't a lot, but it was something. And then the passion or the joy came from seeing that. And because I'd gone on this training, I knew that there was more. I was like, I need to do more. I need to do more. So that was really how I started. And I think another thing that did happen though, in my journey, which I didn't realize was also my driving force until years later, was my mom was a single parent. And when we were born in the UK, we went back to Nigeria. When we were in Nigeria, at some point, her marriage broke down. At some point, she went through a situation where we were almost rendered homeless. We were renting a place. She had a business, rented a store for a business. And all of a sudden, the landlord wanted the house, wanted the shop.
Oh, wow.
So it was like a double whammy. So she was, I mean, it was a terrible time. So I saw how my whole life got displaced because the landlord wanted the property back. So without realizing, I think in my subconscious, I realized that owning gives you power. Not only puts you at the mercy of somebody else.
Exactly.
Then we came over to the UK. My sister and I came over to the UK. First couple of years we stayed with our relatives, and on one of those the early part of our journey, we also had a situation where we needed to leave where we were and find our own place. So again, it was like a reminder of that same experience of being displaced out of something that I was used to, because I didn't own that place. So without me realizing, at the back of my mind, I was like, I must own. So the moment I got a proper job, I think I got my proper job in end of 2003.
Okay.
Into 2004. I think I started end of the year 2003. by 2005, I already owned my first property.
Wow.
Whatever it took to own, I was going for. So I just worked for just about a year.
Yeah.
And all I was thinking was, I must own my property. I must own my property. So as soon as I could get mortgage, that was it. Got the money. Didn't even have the money for legals, for solicitor. I didn't have money for the legals, the broker, and me. I don't think I was paying stamp duty at the time. But every little bit that I had to pay for, I didn't even have the money for it. But I was so strong, but I must own that it took everything out of me to own that first property, which I still own today, by the way. Yeah, so it was that driving force of, I'm going to be wealthy. I'm not going to be sucked into the system in this country where you work, pay taxes, and you have nothing to show for it. Plus, I will not allow any human being to put me on the street. Yes, I have to own shit. Yeah, so that was really what started property for me. And because as much as I got into it, I started to see the benefits. Then I got to a point where I was not working. I was married. I started having my children. Now, I've always wanted to have a big family. I always said to anybody that cared to listen, I'm gonna have 6 kids. I've always wanted to have 6 kids. So, because my late husband would say to me, "Who's gonna give me 6 kids? Please, it's too much." But I was always fixated on having a big family. But I also realized that if you're going to have a big family and you're going to have time for these kids, you have to be on your own. Like, how many times are you going to say to your boss, I need time off? So for me as well, it was like, thank God I enjoyed property. It was also my way of, okay, well, this thing can make me financially independent and can give me time. I can buy my time back. Then I need to work it such that I can actually get to the point where I can buy my time back, so I can devote that time to my family. And that was it. So for me, I started to work towards leaving my full-time job and using property income to replace my work income. And when I got to a point where I felt comfortable enough to do that, I gave up the full-time job, and then I had more time for property. And what I realized was having more time for property meant I could do a lot
of
more.
Things,
And I think that was where it just exploded for me. So
and then you can dedicate more time to the kids as well. So now you're a bit more flexible. So sometimes, we all dabble into different things in life, maybe based on circumstances or situations. Some it could be that they're just tired working 9 to 5, and some they're just tired, working under other people. And sometimes some people just feel, okay, at what age do you want to keep working for someone? You want to do something of your own. What can you start now and start building now until you get to that certain age of, we're talking about women who are in their late 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. You're thinking about tomorrow. When you're got into the pension and retirement stage, what do you want to have on the side? Or you need a side also. We all know, like she said, UK is busy. You're working from morning to night, you're paying bills. As your earning is going to bills, taxes, NI, this one, a lot of things. And then you want some extra income on the side, which is where this, and we all know, like she always say in most of our training, it's property. It never dies. It never ever dies. So properties will always be standing no matter what. So if you want, there are a lot of other things you can do apart from properties. But today we're here with the guru who can tell us more. For those of you who feel like, I don't have the money, I don't have the history, if they do a check on me, I might not qualify to get a mortgage, or I don't have, where am I going to get the finances to even start? Or some people say, I'm just starting up, I don't have enough work experience to say, okay, I've worked this long period of time to be able to, show proof of this and that. So that's why Bim is here today to explain to you guys how you can go into properties, how, that you don't need all the money in the world to go into properties. You don't need, there are a lot of various aspects. There are people who are not even into property, they just source for other people. You can source for people, you can help other people do certain things and make money on the side. And then from that money, then you can then start up on your own. There are a lot of other ways. There is the rent-to-rent factor, options, if you don't have money to buy it. There are a lot of other options, which is what she's going to discuss next with us. So, Bims?
I'm just going to say you set it up. You can tell she's into property too. Yeah, no, so just as you've said, actually, anyone can get into property. And kid you not, I'm not even just saying that. Literally any single person can get into property. From 18 years of age, you can be into property.
Yes.
Because amazing thing about property, it actually does not discriminate whether you're white, black, have money, don't have money, you can get into it. And what do I mean by that? So even if you don't have money, which is the biggest excuse that most people have,
Yeah.
right? The biggest challenge is, I don't have the money. As for some people, it's like, I don't have the experience, or I'm new in the country, I don't have the credibility, or I'm working but I can't get the mortgage. You are so many ways around it. So the first one I want to mention is rent to rent. So that's really just renting a property that isn't actually yours. You're renting it from a landlord, but then you do some creative things to it to make sure that you can get others to pay you for that space more than what you need to pay the landlord, and that difference becomes yours. So it's beautiful. You don't have to look for a mortgage. You don't have to buy. You don't have to find a deposit. You just need just about enough to rent the place, do what you need to do with it, of course, with your landlord's permission, and then you make extra money. So that's like the very basic of getting into property. And of course, for those that do have some money, you can then buy a property for investment. Now, one of the challenges again when it comes up to money is some people might not have enough money to buy, even though they do have some money, they don't have enough money to buy because maybe the house prices are expensive. 25% deposit is no joke.
Yeah.
Even a 100k house, you need 25k for deposit alone, not stock of stamp duty. So a lot of people struggle with having that bulk money to invest. Now, even if you did, there are opportunities to joint venture with other people. That is one of my big
Yes, so which we're going to go into as well.
Joint venture. We have to get to a point where we're able to invest with other people.
Yeah.
And what I say with that is, it's better for you to own 20% of an asset than to own 100% of no asset. 100% times zero is zero. But 20% of an asset is something. So for those that have a little bit of money, rather than you waiting to when you can save up much more, because as you're waiting to save up, the market is moving, it's not waiting for you.
Yeah.
Invest what you have now in a joint venture. If you have enough money but you just don't know where to put that money in, a lot of people as well, I've heard people that have invested and they've lost their money. They negative equity, and it's just been a very painful experience for them. I can help you find good places to invest, good opportunities. So that's where the property sourcing comes in, So even if you have money and you don't know where or how to, you can always engage someone like myself who has the experience, who has the knowledge and the relationship to find you a good deal. And for those that are interested, you can even be a sourcer yourself. Like you said, you can actually be the one that will source properties for other people that don't have the time, and they will pay you. So there are many. That's why I said that anybody can get into property, because a sourcer, a teenager, a 18-year-old, 19-year-old can be a property sourcer. And we've seen people like that. As long as you understand the process for what people are looking for, you can go and source a property and get paid. You can rent a property and get paid. You can buy your own property and you can. And then for those that actually have existing portfolio, maybe you have 1 or 2 properties already. There are so many creative ways that you can maximize your return. So for most people, they just stick a family in and forget about it, and maybe they're making, I don't know, whatever it is that you're making. But actually, you can turn that property into a HMO. You can turn that one property into part HMO, part estate. Like, there is so much you can do.
Please let them know. Could you define what HMO is?
So HMO is literally room by room let. So you can have a 3-bed house, for example, where for somebody might have a 3-bed house, and you can rent that 3-bed house to a family of 4 or 5, whatever, and that's a family rental. Or you can take that 3-bed house, dress it all up into individual rooms, turn maybe the living room into a bedroom, and then you can have 4 rooms, which is HMO, house in multiple occupations. You can have 4 rooms and you rent out to 4 individuals, and then you make a bit more money than if you were renting it to a family. Even that bit is also very regulated. So there's so many. Or you can take that same property, that same 3-bed, and you can just dress it up, make it pretty, make sure there's everything inside of that property, and then turn it into a service accommodation. So people that come on holidays, people that are looking for a place to stay for a short term, they can rent that property, pay you per night, and then you make more money than your family renter. So even if you have properties already, there are so many things you can do to make sure that that money makes you a whole lot of money, you know.
Yes,
so property, there's just so many ways. You can take your existing property, you can go and get planning permission, extend here, extend there. You know, of course you need money to do that, but you can extend a small house into a bigger. You can almost double the footprint of your house just by extending it, and that's you adding value. You spend a bit of money to do that, you go back to the bank to revalue it, and it can give you a valuation that means you're able to extract money from that property, pay off what you initially spent, and still have a bit of money to invest in something else. So property, they say, is that thing that keeps on giving. It's the gift that keeps on giving. So much to do.
Also, some people have asked these questions. So many people have asked me this before, and they're usually worried, but they've heard about HMO, but they don't really know how it works. And some of them are a bit skeptical when it comes to the licensing of HMO. So maybe if you could, because it's a major worry for a lot of people. They don't want to go through the hassle of trying to get it. Almost like when you're trying to do a renovation, a major renovation, then you have to go ask planning permission. People are afraid of all the stress. Some people say some planning permission takes forever. You know, it takes a lot of money, a lot of effort. Maybe if you could, enlighten them a bit on that.
So I would say this. Let's start with the HMO bit, which is more about the licensing and regulation. Do you know what? Because I've done it so many times now, I would say it's very easy. I would say it's easy, and the reason why I say it's easy, obviously, because I've done so many examples. The reason why I say it's easy is for every local authority in the UK, they have a handbook called the HMO Amenities Standards Handbook, or whatever name they give it. Every single HMO has that. So I call it the Bible. So this handbook will tell you everything that they need you to do in order for you to get the license. So the way that I do it is I work my way backwards. Before I start worrying about whether I will get a license or not, I will go and do everything that they asked me to do. Once I've done everything they've asked me to do, why won't you give me the license? It's a no-brainer. So that's why I say it's easy. So what it means, and when I do my rent-to-rent training and I talk about HMO, I always say to each person on the course, what local authority are you looking to invest in or start your business? Go online, get that standard, and start reading it. So the four things that I would say each borough is interested in, or the government actually is interested in. Number one, the size of the rooms. You can't stick people into a box room. You have to give them the good size for them to be able to live comfortably. And there's a minimum size across the country. For a single person, as in when I say for one person, 6.5 square meter. As long as the room is that size, it's fine. It's a lettable room. If it's less than 6.5, it's not going to pass. Because I know that when I'm going to do my viewings, if it's less than 6.5, it's not of interest to me because I'm going to fail in the future. Now, then for two people, it's about 12 square meter or thereabouts. But let's just stick with one person. Now, if it's a 6.5, which is the size of the room, you need to have a communal living room, right? Now, in the handbook, it tells you if you have 2, 3, 4, 5 people, this is the size of your communal room. So if you have those figures to hand, before you even start anything, you already know that my room size has to be this. Now, they tell you that for fire safety, every room has to have a fire door. Once that one is easy, you just buy the fire door, get your builder, handyman, carpenter, change the doors, fire door, you do all the things that they ask you, the fire door, the smoke seal, the locks, all the things they want, you got that. And then what else is the major? And then smoke alarms in every room. Again, you get your electrician to get that done. So my point is, everything that is required, or everything that is a requirement, it's not something they hide from you. It is, the information is there. So what you need to do is to go and read up on that and be familiar with it. If you're familiar with it, then you make sure that you go and do what they've asked you. So there's no need to be scared of that process. And that's why I say it's easy, because now when I go and do a viewing, if the room is too small, I'm not going for it. If I'm looking at a property where I can't see, and then they tell you how many bathrooms you need. So in a 4-people house, you need 1 bathroom, 1 toilet. In a 5-people house, you need 1 bathroom. Sorry, you need 1 bathroom, 2 toilets. In a 6-people household, you need 2 bathrooms and an additional toilet, making
Okay.
3. So if I'm going to do a viewing and I look at this beautiful house and I feel like I can get 6 people in this house and it only has 1 bathroom, I'm not going to go for it.
Exactly. So that
So
won't work for you.
It won't work for you. Yeah. So once you know what is the requirements are,
Yeah.
then you walk your way backwards. So the moment you know and you walk your way back, they can't say no. So it's no longer an issue. Do you
Yeah.
get? Same thing with planning. Now, of course, planning is a bit tricky because again, you're still waiting. But again, even with planning, there are local laws that each council, each authority adhere to.
Okay.
Right? So they might say that, local authority, so they're building 20,000 houses, 20,000 flats. They don't need more flats. If you now go and say you want to convert into a flat, they're going to say no. Because they've already told you we don't need more flats. Or in fact, with the planning, you actually have something called the pre-plan advice. So you can actually go to the planning officers, pay for them to advise on what they want to see, so that you don't waste your money applying and get a refusal. But the general rule when it comes to planning is, if you've seen it done on that street,
Yeah.
the chances are they will say yes to
Yes,
you.
to you as well.
So what we tend to do, what is advisable to do, is that you go on the planning portal for that street, you take your time, read one at a time, see other people's application, the ones that have been approved, why it's been approved, especially the ones that have not been approved, why wasn't it approved? You will see the reason. So you know that you don't want to do that thing, because if you do, you will get a refusal.
So
what
all
people
these
don't
things,
realize.
so all these things are on there. You can actually see all those things there.
So I was just going to say, what most people don't realize is, in property, the bulk of the work is done behind your screen. The bulk of property is done behind the computer. It is you and your laptop. Research. Before you step out of your house to say, I want to go and view or offer, you should have done 20 years of research, so that when you go out there, you know exactly what you're looking for. You know exactly even down to what you offer. If you don't know what the market value is, and a student says, "Oh, this house is worth $500,000, and the last time it was sold was 300,000," how do you justify the gap? It is those same research you go up and say, "But hold on, a similar house sold here last week or 2 months ago.
Yes.
What is the justification?" So
Sure.
you do a lot of research before you actually go out there to view, before you even get to offer. But most people do it the other way. They go and see, they get excited, go and jump and see, and then they're trying to walk their way back. No, you're not that you're taking a gamble at this point.
Yeah.
But if you want a sure approval, a sure successful deal, or whatever the case is, you do your work behind the scenes, as much of it, then you go and do the legwork that you need to do. So everything starts from behind the scenes, and that's the bit that most people don't know or don't want to do.
Yeah.
It starts from behind the scene. So when I buy a property now, by God's grace, I've not had any property that's given me any issue, because I've spent years of time, a lot of time researching from the back end. Of course, there will be times where you might have to go with your gut feel. I have times where forget the research, we're going with this one.
Yeah.
But that's a gut feel. But that gut feel is also rooted in research.
Research as well.
It
Yeah.
is the research
Experience,
and
intuition. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's there's a lot of work
Yeah.
behind the scenes before you go out there.
Okay. So that is what in property we call due
diligence,
diligence. So
exactly.
you need to always do that.
Mhm.
Even when they teach you, you need to go out of your way. And they say, like she said, information is the key. It's the key at all times. If you're well informed and you have the right people around you who you can call and say, okay, I'm a bit stuck here. What do I need to do? What do I need to know?
Yeah.
So if you have those information and you know where to go and how to go about it, sky is the limit, to be honest. So we've talked about due diligence, we've talked about HMO, so we've talked about rent to rent. And so for those who are brand new to property, they've never heard about all these things before, and they want to go into it, because you spoke about quite a lot of things. Some people it's like overwhelming. It's like, where do I start? How do I go about this thing? Like she said earlier as well, she mentioned that even from 16, 18 you can. So if you are in university, for instance, there's nothing stopping you from going to properties. If you're saying, I'm studying, I'm busy, on your laptop, on a weekend, you can become a sorcerer. You can start to source property for people. who do not have the time or the energy to begin to go online and searching for all these things. So all these things, they're training for them, which BIMS would do. She will train you if you want to become a sorcerer. She'll train you if you want to become an want to go into rent. You want to go into HMO. You want to go into buy to let. You want to go into flipping. You want to go into joint venturing as well. So there are different aspects. And if let's assume you're young and you've got some trust fund and you want to speak to your parents, okay, I want to invest part of it in something. Joint venture is a very good idea. So for those who, like quite a lot of people that have come to me and asked, okay, I'm new, because I have some women group as well where we've sat down and we've talked about this, and they've asked, where will I get the money from? Hey, me, I just moved to UK. Oh, hey, who knows me? Where do I begin? Where do I start? How can I go into? But can me even start property? Or they're just trying to start up a new business, but they're thinking, what kind of business can I do? What can I do? I do not have knowledge about all these things. So for new starters like that, I want to go into property. How do you encourage and motivate? And what do you think they need to know to start up?
So I guess for anyone that is new in anything,
Yeah.
the first thing is just research. Is getting the knowledge, being in the right company of people as well. If you're starting out in something and you want to know more, don't surround yourself with people that don't know. Go and be with people that are already doing what you're doing.
Exactly.
And that's literally what it is. If you want to get into something, the best way is go and hang out with people that are doing it. So if you are new in the country, you're new into property, but you someone you think, okay, I would like to do this, then speak to her, hang around her, come to my training.
Exactly.
Hang around information that will take you somewhere. But like I said, it's for everybody. So if you're starting out, training will be the first thing I would say, because you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
And you don't want to be hanging out or listening or getting advice of people that don't
know.
Because that's something that I see a lot of. People tend to take advice from people that don't even know what they're talking about. If somebody is not doing something, whatever they say is an opinion. It's not an expert. Go and speak or hang around people. That's literally the way it is, hanging around people that are already there. I mean, I have friends as well. I have a group of friends who are into property, into investment. I hang around them, I listen to them. I do what they do. When I find out, I don't know that, I don't even know that's possible. Once they mention it, I go and do it, or I ask for the question. And that's how anyone would grow. Hang around people that are doing what you're looking to do. Get training. Be in a company of people that are have the same mindset as you, and that's really what it is. And in terms of property, even for those that don't have money, there's so many ways, and there's just so many opportunities, as we said. In fact, another one that came to mind was even things like cleaning. Because again, people might see something like cleaning as, this is beneath me. But imagine if you wanted to go into service accommodation and there was an opportunity for you to help somebody that already has the business, and all you're doing is helping them clean and take care of the place. You will learn as you are doing it. You will learn as you're doing it. Of course, make money while doing that. And then, because what did I heard this from? I've heard this saying somewhere. Maybe it was PDD, or anyway, it was somebody. I can't remember who really was. I think it was Bob Daddy back when he was a good guy. I think before he started his record label, it was somebody known where before they started their own business, they were working for another company that was doing the same thing. How do you learn how property works? How do you learn the management of property? How do you learn how to do the finances? How do you learn all those things? By working. So even if you're brand new but you're interested, go and be a property manager. Go and be a cleaner or housekeeper for someone that has SAM, service accommodation. Go and do finance for a property, if you are that way inclined. Because you pick things. You pick things from there, you learn. Surround yourself, go for training, speak to people that are doing what you're doing. Find yourself a mentor, which is why I'm here, which is why Ingos is here. So there's so many ways that you can get into it, if that's what you want. And then sometimes people say a lot of things, but they're not willing to put the work
into it.
But if you want to do it, it is possible. And it starts with one investment. Everyone that I know that is doing amazing things in property, it just started with one property. There was nobody bought a portfolio in one
Yes,
day.
so of 100 portfolio,
Nobody
100
bought a
property.
portfolio
No.
one day. They just bought one property. And then they worked that one property, and then that one property gave them another property, or brought them into a place where they could see that, oh, actually, I could do more than one, you know.
Yeah.
So that's really the key.
Yeah. So she said it all. All depends on your strong points as a human being. We're all different. Our endurances are different. Okay, so some people can follow up or some people can't. So, but like she said, if you surround yourself with the right people, who, when you're feeling discouraged due to one thing or the other, they might be able to motivate you, encourage you, uplift you, and tell you, okay, do it this way, do it that way. Okay, which is why most people will go for mentoring. But then people say, I don't have money for mentoring, no, I don't have money for this, I don't have money for that. Like everything else in life, you have to sacrifice something.
Oh, yeah.
You have to put something. Even God will say you have to sow a seed. You have to sow something. So when you sow a seed, then you are even that seed, you can't just leave it now. You have to water it. You have to water it. You have to do all that it needs to make it grow. Exactly, to make it grow. So if you do not have that money to start up, what are other ways? Like she said, mingle with the right people. Go to all these meetings, all this women empowerment thing. Go for those things. I mingle, say people with the same mindset, they rub heads together. I did a video on my YouTube channel about the lady that went on and on and on about how she said, nobody cares. So nobody cares. So you cannot be upset that your mate is doing better than you. You understand? And you cannot be upset that your mate has jackpot and left you behind. Yeah. You saw my YouTube channel. I saw that video. I was like hilarious. I was like, oh my goodness. She was so invested in that video. It was a little mini short. And she was like, nobody cares. She was so angry. So nobody cares. Like you're poor, nobody cares. He said rich people will not tag along with you. He will tell you, yeah. He said rich people tag along with rich people. And those who are going up are trying to tag along rich people. They're trying to tag along with people who are making it. And how do you get there? Is by you making an effort. First you have to get out. And then you have to say, okay, this is what I want. And then you have, like you said, do your due diligence. Invest your time and find out how this can work for you. Yes. Some people feel, okay, I don't want to leave my job because of insecurity and things like that. Yeah. You can still be doing your 9-to-5 work and be doing this on the side. Oh, yeah. And when you start to make a little bit of money, you can say, okay, my 9-to-5, let me reduce it from how many hours, 7 hours to maybe 15 hours or 20 hours or 10 hours a week, where you still have something coming in and then you're doing this on the side. So, in order to get to this point, what do you need to do? Like you said, link with the right people. Come to people like us for consultation. Come to people like BIMS for information, which is a training, and you have to know I know my strong points, and I know that in terms of training is not my very strong suit points. So, which is why when you come, I was okay. BIMS is one of the right people that will train you, put you through step by step on how to go about this, what you need to know about the law, because you can't go into something without you having full information on how it works and all the laws that are regulated and within the process of going into properties. So she will put you through all those things. And then if you then want mentorship is where you then come and then we'll put you through step by step on all those things. How, what you need to do next. Okay. Then it's not you not putting effort. You will still put in your effort, but then you have somebody guiding you step by step. That's where mentorship comes in. And people can do that. I can do that. But then we are not here to advertise mentorship and consultation. We're here to say, okay, you're wondering how can you go into something. There are a lot of things you can go into. And like you said, we're giving you quite a few of things that you can go into. You don't have to be an old person to go into property. You can join even at a young age. There's nothing wrong with starting young. Like my son, for instance, I told my son, I said, okay. My husband said, okay, when he entered uni, my husband said, okay, let's do it this way. I said, okay, he's entered uni, let's let him start first. Let him get used to the system. Let him get used to people, make friends, get rooted in his study. We don't want to start putting him in a box for now. Let's give him that freedom. It's okay. we paid for accommodation, school accommodation. So, and then you think and look at the amount you're paying for school accommodation for a whole term. For a whole term. And I sat down, I said, you know, I'm into poverty. You know what I do. And you know the kind of people I have around me. And you know you can do this, you can do that. You have laid point out. You're young, doesn't mean you can't go into poverty. You can start at 16, you can start at 18. But then we said, okay, let's give him a chance to grow. Let him begin, because he has never lived on his own before. So let's give him the opportunity to live on his own. Get used to how it works. Obviously, in student accommodation, they don't have to pay, you know, bills and things like that. The same thing with service accommodation. HMO. Some of them, you know, they come with all those things already imbibed in your rent, monthly rent, where you don't have. Some of them, it's just basically walking in there with your suitcase, and that's it. Everything is there, ready to go. So we said, okay, which is another point that I give to quite a lot of people. Now you've established yourself. You're not in year 1, you're not in year 2. You're a big boy now. You know, you're a big boy now. Yes, your grade is up to a certain level now. So you can just say, okay, then what can I do? How can I go into property? I told him, I said, you know, that money that we're spending, paying your whatever per 10, you know, we can give you that money. You can do your own due diligence. I've taken him to some of those training and courses before. I said, you can do your own due diligence within that area where your school is. You can look for a flat, a house. If you're worried about license that we spoke about earlier, you can actually do what? Look for a 3-bedroom. You know, look for a 3-bedroom. And with that area, there are a lot of students who are looking for their own private accommodation. And then you can rent it out. And he can live there rent free. Anyway, so we're not going to talk too much about that. We'll leave that for another day. So to round up this, is there any other thing you would like to say? Some kind of encouragement for people, our audience out there, both young and old, though, it doesn't matter.
I think that saying, he who thinks he can and he who thinks he can't are both right. If you think you can't do it, you're right. If you think you can do it, you're right. So basically, it's a mindset thing. There is nothing. One of my beliefs is that I can do anything. Like there is nothing that is impossible. I mentioned at the beginning that I'm a person of faith. So a lot of what I do is actually undergirded by my faith. So, and that faith is knowing that I can do anything. I can buy any property. I move like a rich girl. You know. So I just thought, if I were to leave anything with anyone, it's just to say, look, if this is what you desire to aspire to, you can do it. There's no joy in living from paycheck to paycheck. There's no joy in having financial stress. A lot of people are under a lot of financial stress. And there are ways that you can get yourself out of it. There are things that you can put in place to get you out of it. So if you are ready, you can start today. You know, if you are ready, but that's the thing. Maybe some people are not ready. If you are ready, you can change your destiny. You can change your finances. You can turn things around by getting started today. So that you're starting at a very low point of rent to rent, or you're going to be sourcing property for somebody else, or you're going to get yourself trained so that you know what you're doing, or you're going to take what you have and extract what you need from what you have. Anywhere you find yourself, if you decide that you are ready to do it, then you can begin today. So like they say, the best time to get into property is yesterday. The next best time is right now. So you can get started. And just believe that you can. I also say that money is the least important factor when it comes to property. The least. Most people think it's the most important thing, and because they think it's the most important thing, they already shut themselves away because they say, I don't have money. But actually, money is the least important thing. The most important thing when it comes to property is knowledge. Because if you don't know what to invest in, you can have a pot of money, you will waste it if you have no knowledge of what to put in or where to invest. So knowledge is key. Find out what you don't know, get trained, get a mentor, get interested, do your research. I already mentioned that research is a big part of
Yes.
property. Do your research, ask questions. Don't take advice from someone that is not doing it. Take advice from only from those, it's true, from people that are doing it. And just believe that you can.
Yes.
Even if it's just as a passive income, that in itself is big.
Yeah.
Because most people also just have one income source. That's suicide. It's suicidal to just have one means of one income source. So
Yeah.
even if it's property as a passive income, as a second income, you're already on your way.
Yeah.
Property is that one thing, one asset that is the most stable and guarantees you generational wealth. So how about you think about those that are coming after you? How can you put or leave a legacy? You can do that through property. Also think about the fact that whatever you're doing in property, you are putting a roof on somebody else.
Yes, yeah.
You are doing a good thing.
Yeah.
You are putting a roof over somebody else. So that's another reason to get into property. There's so many reasons. But so you don't even have to make it a full-time job if you don't want to. But it's important that you invest. And then another thing that I also say is if you are actually if you are in the UK, and this is mainly for maybe not just UK but for anyone. For those of us here in the UK, we work so hard. We pay quite a number of taxes. We need to own a piece of this land.
Yes.
And owning a piece of the land is in property. You owning real estate. You need to own, even if it's a tiny piece. That is how people become take authority over a place. It's an ownership. So own a piece of real estate. A piece. And then if you can own more than one piece, keep going. If you can own a street, keep going. You know. And that's really what I would say. But yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. So more not get to what she said. Like she said, knowledge is power. Educate yourself. You know, do your due diligences. That you can do anything you put your mind to it. So it's being positive as a human being. To be a positive as well. It's okay, this is what I want to do. And you're positive. You're not negative about it. I want to do this. Whether I have money or not, I want to do it. And then you surround yourself with the right people, like she said, you know. And like she said, money is not everything. You know, if you surround yourself with the right people and you're positive within yourself, and you start with the first bit of doing your due diligences as well, you know, getting those information, put those information in place, the money will come as you go. You know, then they can be able to tell you, okay, this is other things you can do to then make that money, to then do what you really want to do. It might take a bit of time, but then you have to know your strong points. You know, that's what I tell people. Know your strong points. Like me, for instance, I know my strong point. I know what I will do and what I won't do. Okay, so what do I think is comfortable for me at this time, at this stage of my life, is what I'm doing right now. So I don't know what is your points, or what is the stage you are in life at this point, and what you want to do and how you want to go about it. So that's one thing you have to sit down within yourself and say, okay, I'll be more comfortable doing this. This is what I can do. Then that is your power. Then focus on that power. Work on that power. Get all the information you need regarding that power, and then start up. Because tomorrow, there are a lot of people that procrastinate. Tomorrow. Time is going. Tomorrow, the property you saw that was maybe 30,000 is now 200K. So things, you know, value goes up every time, and things changes in terms of prices. And she also talked about maintenance. That if you don't have money to rent a place, do rent from somebody who already owns the place. If you don't have money to buy and rent out, you can do that. And then she also said, if you can't do that, you can also enlighten yourself by clinging with people who are already doing it, who already have properties. They call them property maintainers or property managers. You can manage other people's properties. What do? You go to them, you help them cleaning, and there's what they call outsourcing. You don't even have to do it yourself. You can get other people to do it. So begin to clean, begin to manage property for people, decorate property for people. You know, they want to set up a new place, don't know what to do, how to go about it. You can help them do that and make some little money here and there, and use that money to then start up for yourself. You know, and then she also said legacy. You know, you doing this, eventually you grow and grow your own portfolio. As you grow your own portfolio, what does that lead to? You know, that leads to what they call, like she said, generational wealth. You know, and that could be your legacy. You know, and like she also said, you buy or you rent or whatever option you decide to go for. Don't forget there's what they call equity as well, which she will talk about next time on equity. How most of these things don't have to always come out from your pocket all the time. Your equity can do some of those things for you as well. But then how do you arrive at that? She will talk about that when next we're able to,
There's so much to talk about.
so much to talk about. You can't even talk about this in a month. It's a lot to talk about. And then she also mentioned something about property, that even if you don't, if you just move to UK, you're more familiar with the system in Nigeria. Do you know you can also do this in Nigeria? I remember a long time ago when I was telling people, that somebody told me this or somebody told me that, or you can actually, and you're like, you London people have come again, no? And you think the way things work in London is work in Nigeria. You think the process that they put in UK is it will. I said, why can't it work? That's my question. Why can't it work? It's a process. You can actually do that. And in Nigeria is a lot easier, because it's a lot easier to do things like that. This was even before Airbnb became a thing. Before Airbnb became a thing. And I told someone, and the person just said, they just waved it away. I said, that will not work in Nigeria. This one, excuses left and right. But they waited till when everybody else has already started doing it.
Yeah.
They now called and said, okay. And guess what? Guess what? This a family. This a brother.
And you're already doing it.
Yeah. Guess what? Years later, he now came and said, oh, that thing that you told me about, hey, people are doing it now. I said, imagine if you started earlier.
Exactly.
Today, like joke, it's got close to maybe 7 or 8 years.
Amazing.
In Nigeria.
Oh, wow.
None of them are his properties. Because he didn't think, because Nigeria, Nigeria is where people own land, people buy, people build. They don't believe in mortgage and things like that. So he didn't think it was possible. I said, how am I going to just go and approach? So I think you just approach them. There are ways of going about this, I didn't even do training. I just sat down and I just mentored him.
That is a training.
I just mentored him, not even a constant, because I left, not even a constant mentoring. So just a conversation. Okay, do it this way. And then they'll call me. Oh, what do I need to do? How do I need to set up MBIB? I said, it's very easy.
Yeah.
Just go online, log in. And I even did it for him. I set up one for him in UK, set up one for him he set up the one in Nigeria. And I just told step by step on that side. And he did. I said, go and take picture. Go. And the first picture he did it himself. I said, eventually when you start to make money, get a professional and put it there. Today, he runs it. Today, he's making money from it. And it's a side hustle.
Yeah.
So if he can do it, you can do it. And that's why we're here. So we thank Bims for coming on this podcast. Let's talk about it. And we're here talking about it, encouraging you guys. It doesn't matter what your age is, how old you are, you can actually start. And if you like to talk about your business as well, you like us to showcase your business on this podcast, please, my email is on my description, and more details about Bims will be in the description section as well. So if you need training, you need consultation, you want to go into properties and you need more information, she's available, I'm available. Information will be in the description section. And my email is also in my bio on YouTube. So you can check all those things out, contact us and say, since Angie Blair, I would like to go, into properties. How do I need to go about it? And we'll be here to support you. And if you're already into a business and you're just starting up and you're looking for visibility on your business, you want people to know what you do, and you want to talk about your business, you want to introduce yourself, we're here on this podcast. We're here to showcase everybody. So come over, let's talk about it, and let's put your business out there for visibility. So thank you so much all for staying tuned, for watching till the end, for being NG fam, sis NG fam. And then we welcome and we really thank Bims for coming here today.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for enlightening our audience, giving them all that information, teaching them, and them learning. I hope you're learning, even with the little she's given, hope you've learned something today. So make sure you subscribe, click the like button, click the notification bell, leave a comment though. Let's talk about all these things. If you have questions, leave it in the comment section, and make sure you share with all your friends. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you'd like to say before you go?
No, I think that's it. Just do it.
Hey,
Just do it.
Thank you to
Thank you. Thanks for
Bimbo
having me.
Osage.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And stay tuned for the next one. We've got another one coming soon. So we'll try and see if we can drag that over. Okay?